What is up, everybody? Today I am going to be doing the paid summon like I was talking about in my video from yesterday, and I'm also going to be going in depth a little bit about the Familia units. I know you guys have probably already looked at them and know what they do and stuff, but some people I know are having a hard time deciding on these versus the Attack on Titan banner, which we kind of discussed yesterday, but I figured I'd just kind of go into detail and tell why I think that these units are good or not good. But they're pretty much all good, and see if that kind of helped you decide what you wanted to do there. So I'm going to go ahead into the album. All assist units. I love all assist banners because I really need good assists. So the first one is Hestia. Hestia, at level 60, she has a B stat in agility. She's an agility type, and her strength and magic are the same, I think, in every level. Yeah. So they just always stay the same. Her status is foes, all attack damage taken plus 10%, and allies agility plus 8%. That is on level 60. Oh, backed out there. On level 80, however, she does foes, all attack damage taken plus 15%, and allies agility plus 10%. So this is, like, in my opinion, one of the strongest assists in the game, at least for Wargame. If you're doing... Okay, so before I continue, the all attack damage taken means AoE damage. It means when your character says foes instead of foe. If your character says foe on its attack, that's a single target attack, and this does not boost it 15% damage. So, if you guys didn't know that, the Japanese translation said AoE damage. However, when it came to English, it was all attack damage taken, which is worded exactly like Almighty Fighter Asfi. And we thought up until this point that Almighty Fighter Asfi did a 30% damage reduction to all damage, because that's what it says in English, but it's actually to AoE damage, which they call all attack damage in this game. So that is something, if you guys are focused mainly on Record Buster and not Wargame, this probably isn't the unit for you. But I personally like Wargame, so if you are a big Wargame person, this is definitely the unit for you. Like, this is one of the best, if not the best, Wargame unit in the game. Like, Chloe, Chloe for the longest time was considered the best unit in the game, the best assist unit in the game, and this is at least tied. Like, there are really good units that are probably at least tied with Chloe now, but this is just far above. Like, this is really good. Just all attack. So, like, the reason it's so good, I think, in my opinion, is because magic and strength teams both benefit from this. So even if you have a magic team now, sorry about that, my throat, but even if you have a magic team now and are thinking about switching to a physical team later, this assist is still fantastic. Or the opposite, if you have a physical team and are switching to a magic team, it's still just as good because it's both. And we haven't really seen that with any assists up until this point. They're usually physical or magic, and it's awesome. And I think it's awesome because it also focuses on speed stat instead of strength or magic, so it's really cool. But yeah, and the agility plus 10% is just really good. Like, being faster than your opponent in Wargame is very important. I know the turn basis in Wargame is a little strange sometimes, and even if you think like you should be going first, there's no reason that you aren't. Sometimes your opponent goes first. It's just really weird. But the agility definitely helps. Definitely like the agility. So next is the Freya. No, we'll go to Loki next. Freya's probably the second best. Loki might be my second favorite. She has an A in magic on level 60, and then allies critical rate plus 10%, and penetration rate plus 8%. I'm not as worried about her just because I have the Summer Hestia that does a critical rate plus 10% as well. This does 15%, but still critical rate up. but it's allies critical rate plus 15% and penetration rate plus 10%. So that's really good. The penetration rate's even good for like Record Buster and stuff. The crit rate is crazy. Like most units up until this point have had a 10% crit rate. There's an Ina with a 15%, but her stats are kind of meh, and she only does the 15% crit rate. Like, that's it. So the crit rate plus penetration is just really, really good. It's really strong. And this is stats on level 80 with a double S in magic at 599, which kind of tilts me because why can't it be 600? But she is really solid, really solid. Next is Freya. Freya is really good, probably the second best for war game. I don't know if Freya is going to influence the meta at all as far as like single target versus AoE attacks, because probably not, because if she was going to at all, Hestia probably balanced her with the AoE attack buff, but she is an AoE attack reduction, and it's the all attack damage minus 10%, just like Hestia is all attack damage plus 15%, and then it's magic damage plus 15%. So Almighty Fighter Asfi does an all attack damage minus 10%, which we now know is AoE damage, or it's minus 30%. But stacked with this, it's minus 40% all attack damage. So like their buffs, their AoE attacks, your opponents are only doing 60% of their original damage, which is crazy. And then Almighty Fire Assi, if you're using her as well, has a guard rate plus, which is crazy. You might guard and is it guard? I think it's guard. Yeah, regardless, it's really good. It's really good. So, and then the magic plus 15%. 15%. I'm not as focused on this unit. I would really love to have her if it weren't for the fact that I already have Hime. Crunchyroll Hime does magic plus 15% and all attack and a stun, 40% chance to stun, 45% chance to stun, which is good. It's probably not as good as this, like debatably as good as this, but I'm not running a magic team regardless, and so I don't really need the magic damage, and I already have something with magic damage. So she's not as good to me, but you could put her on a healer. If I had her, I'd probably put her on a healer in my wargame party just to get me that damage reduction. Also, just a shout out to her magic at 600, unlike Loki. Unlike Loki, magic at 600. So, after that, we have Dionysius. Dionysius is a strength stat, 294 at level 60, and then 560 at level 80. His ability is foes max HP 10% damage, poison, and heal minus 25%. So to be honest, I do think that he is the worst of the 4 units, and this is his stats at level 60 plus before 80. His stats before 80, I guess. So everyone is running. My mind just blanked on her name, but the Hestia that negates 1 to 2 status conditions. And so the damage poison is not really going to hit like ever. It'll hit sometimes, but I mean, if anything, it just clears up that assist off of your opponent's team so that something else can hit or something like that. But even so, 10% damage poison's good, but not the best. But it is really, like, if it is applied to your opponent's team, it is really good, like the poison damage. And then heal minus 25%. So that means that your opponent's healer only heals at 75% strength, heal strength, I guess I should say. But that's really good. It's just not as relevant because that hurts one aspect of your opponent's team as opposed to their damage, which is almost all of their team, like Freya does. So that's pretty much all for those units. I think that these are some of the best assists in the game, like all of them. Even Dionysius, like, he's the weaker of the 4, but I still think he's really good. Freya is probably the second best, but Loki's probably the second best. For me, I don't know. They're really close, but I'd say Freya is the second best. And then the first best is Hestia. She is bestie, you know what they say. But she's really good, especially with the agility stat. So she's kind of universal, and she's just extremely universal because of her all attack damage taken plus 15%. So I hope that kind of helped you a little bit make up your mind. Possibly not, but hopefully you at least learned something about the new units, especially the Hestia and Freya all attack damage thing, if you didn't know that. So I'm going to go ahead and pull on the paid banner for Hestia. Really excited. I hope I get something before the 11th. That would be awesome. If I got 2 Hestias, I would be the happiest man alive. But pretty much that's it for the units. There is some news. The live stream was yesterday, and we are getting well, I guess the first thing I should mention is they didn't mention anything about a war game season, but hopefully it will start tomorrow night. I guess it could start tonight, but most likely tomorrow night. Hopefully it'll start. Hopefully they didn't just not do it. That would be awful, especially right before the Attack on Titan banners when we need Iris. But it's not looking like I'm getting anything. It's probably 11. Maybe Belle will find me divine. Look at her. She's so pretty. Yep, that was 11. Still, though, 1, I mean, that's all we really expected. She's really good. It's my first one, so hopefully we'll have 5 more by the end of this banner. Probably going to be pulling on this banner. I considered doing it in this video, but I do still kind of want to wait and see what the Attack on Titan units do, because if they're just insane, like if they're somehow better than Hestia, I'll save my Iris, but I don't think that they will be. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. The wargame thing is, I did want to talk about that because I don't know if there will be one. Hopefully there will be one. There should. I don't know why there wouldn't be. Like, there's no real reason why there wouldn't be. There's also some new Familia stuff coming to the game. They announced in the stream yesterday there's going to be the leveling system, and I think there's a Familia event coming soon. I'm not 100% sure on that. But yeah, so I will be putting out another video soon. Probably in the next like 4 or 5 days. I might wait until the 1st of the month the 1st of November to put out my ticket summoning video. So I have quite a few tickets. And I might wait till the tickets reset on the Cirrus and Dulb so I can get 20 more and just open a ton of tickets. So probably going to do that. That video is coming soon, though, and I'll have something else out probably later this week or early next week for you guys. If not before, definitely when the Attack on Titan banner drops, and maybe something like with the new Wargame season or something like that. And then also, obviously, don't forget about the Elves Holiday thing going on. I kind of missed out on the Eyes one for the Halloween banner, which was unfortunate. But sometimes you just get distracted, I guess. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. Please do, if you liked the video, consider liking, subscribing, doing all that good stuff. And I will see you next time.